You got cap in your raps. Why be a straight when I catch him is that?
You ain't even take no flower to this man. But I guarantee you ain't take not one flower to this man. I ain't even got nothing to do with the situation, man. Stop playing with me, son. I don't want no problem with you. Stay the out my way or get it done, man. Stop the like I said, man.
Why are you straight when you have a cap in your RS? I caught him saying that you don't even give this guy any flowers, but I promise that you don't give him any flowers at all. We'll remove the handcuffs, all right, but I don't have a statement and I don't want to be held in these handcuffs like this improperly if I haven't committed a crime of D. I don't even have anything to do with the situation, man. Stop playing with me, son. I don't have any problems with you. Stop. The prosecution released fresh video of a young NBA player being detained inside a courtroom as it was being revealed after the young player's jail sentence. In the federal firearm case that was moved from Louisiana to Utah, an NBA youngster has agreed to a plea agreement that will result in a 27-month jail term with credit for time spent in pretrial incarceration. The court had a change of heart just before imposing a jail sentence, but it was followed by 5 years of federal probation. However, it was a whole disaster that began with a wild NBA Kid fan breaking into the court's sound system and shouting for the kid for free. For those of you who are interested, please keep yourselves muted for free. Mr. Jin's case has already been called and he has finished court today. NBA YoungBoy was able to hear this entire thing happening right outside of the courtroom. He would then enter in smiling and laughing, reacting to the hacker, who was just screaming his support for music himself as NBA YoungBoy's sentencing would then begin as it started with the judge reading out the charge description that was written out by the prosecutor they would end up writing on March 10, 2021. NBA YoungBoy was arrested and charged with 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as well as 1 count of possession of a firearm that's not registered on the National Firearms Registration List, where they noted you can make a scrapbook out of all of NBA YoungBoy's mugshots. For the last 6 years, he's been arrested a total of 16 times, where this arrest began while they were outside recording a music video on the street in a neighborhood where he had several friends playing loud music dancing on the hood of a car for the music video, to which an old lady who lived on the street ended up calling the police as she was worried, describing to the police. On the phone there is several men dancing around on a hood of a car holding firearms up in the air. This had the police arriving very quickly. They already recognized NBA YoungBoy, so they would arrest him instantly. So yesterday at court, the body cam footage of the officer who put the cuffs on YoungBoy back in September during that music video that was shown, and it was very interesting because the cop comes right up to him, whatever, he puts the cuffs on him, and then YoungBoy's reaction is kind of hilarious. I thought it might be interesting for why all he was just like I was like, yo, big dog, man, what you doing, man? Why you putting these CFFs on me? That's what he was calling the cop. He was calling the cop big dog. He's like, big dog, you up right now? I didn't do nothing. You could search me. I got nothing on me. Cop doesn't listen. Cop puts him in the whole time YoungBoy like, yo, what you doing, man? You can learn a lot about this case. From Big Dog White, the young boy didn't believe he had done anything wrong, but he didn't anticipate that they would go and begin recording music videos and tell him, you were caught in a music video and you're a felon, and that's a federal felony and you're going to face 3 to 5 years. This clearly demonstrates how these federal laws apply to children like NBA. The case involving NBA YoungBoy and the controversial video footage of him brandishing a firearm has taken a significant legal turn, with implications that extend beyond the courtroom. This case is a glaring example of how legal rights and constitutional protections intersect with the actions of law enforcement, leading to complex battles in the judicial system. It all began when a cameraman, fully aware that the young boy was not authorized to possess a firearm, captured footage of NBA YoungBoy holding a weapon. What followed was a chaotic attempt by the boy to quickly delete the video during his arrest, likely in an effort to erase evidence that could potentially lead to serious legal consequences. However, what transpired next was even more troubling. During his arrest, the police confiscated the camera, but crucially, they did so without obtaining the necessary legal authorization. The police, knowing the value of the footage, recovered the video showing the young boy with the firearm, despite the fact that they had not followed the proper legal protocol in seizing the evidence. This move by the police raised serious concerns about the legality of their actions. The fact that they took the camera without a warrant or legal grounds created a significant legal dispute. It was clear that the footage of NBA YoungBoy with the firearm could play a central role in the prosecution's case, but the manner in which it was obtained was called into question. The young boy's attorney argued that the video was illegally obtained, citing violations of his constitutional rights, but unfortunately, these claims did not hold up in court. The judge ultimately ruled against the defense, allowing the video to be admitted as evidence in the case. The legal ramifications of this ruling were immense, not only for NBA YoungBoy but for anyone concerned with the potential overreach of law enforcement in cases involving the seizure of personal property and evidence. The argument that the footage was unlawfully obtained seemed to offer a glimmer of hope for the defense, but that hope quickly evaporated when it was revealed that the video would be used to support the government's case. As a result, the prosecutors now had a significant piece of evidence to support their allegations against NBA YoungBoy, and they planned to use it to strengthen their argument that he had brandished the firearm unlawfully. In a further twist, NBA YoungBoy's legal team had hoped for a reversal when they appealed the case to the Federal Appeals Court. The case had initially been ruled in his favor in a lower court, with the judge determining that the video could not be used at trial due to the manner in which it was obtained. The judge found that the police violated the YoungBoy's constitutional rights by seizing the footage without proper authorization. However, when the government appealed the decision to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, the outcome was drastically different. The higher court ruled that the video could, in fact, be used in the case against NBA YoungBoy, effectively overturning the lower court's ruling. This decision marked a pivotal moment in the case. It meant that the prosecution could now use the incriminating footage of NBA YoungBoy with the firearm as a central piece of evidence. The YoungBoy's legal team now faced the daunting prospect of appealing this decision to the Supreme Court, a move that could prolong the case and raise additional constitutional questions. It was clear that this legal battle was far from over, and NBA YoungBoy's future now depended on the outcome of further appeals. At this stage, the YoungBoy has a couple of options available. First, his attorneys can file an appeal with the U.S. Supreme Court, seeking a final ruling on whether the footage can be used against him. It is highly likely that the defense will take this route as they continue to challenge the legality of how the evidence was obtained. Alternatively, NBA YoungBoy's legal team may attempt to negotiate with the government, exploring the possibility of a reduced sentence or other concessions in exchange for a guilty plea or cooperation. This case highlights the tension between law enforcement's ability to collect evidence and the protection of individual rights. While the police were able to seize the camera and recover the footage of NBA YoungBoy, the method by which they did so remains controversial. Moreover, the legal battle is far from over, with the potential for future appeals and legal challenges that could shape the outcome of this high-profile case. Whether or not NBA YoungBoy ultimately prevails in this case will likely have significant implications not only for his future but also for broader legal principles surrounding evidence collection and constitutional rights. I think he was locked up for almost a year. He's been on house arrest for almost a year. How much time do you want him to serve and think about doing a plea bargain? Ultimately, you can also take this case to trial and try to beat the feds and go 2-0 against them. He's previously beaten a federal. With the judge confirming to the courtroom that NBA YoungBoy really had no defense at all, it would be this time where everyone in the courtroom would begin to cry. In the family section, the judge would then deliver an emotional speech to NBA YoungBoy. As a report would read, the judge gave NBA YoungBoy a positive message about him being robbed of his talent and potential due to his addiction and wished him the best of luck after he's out of prison in the future. Mr. Jin, I've seen so many times that good men and women who have a lot of talent and potential, that they can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with so I don't want that for you. You seem like a very talented young man. I hope that after serving your time in federal prison, you will be able to succeed on federal probation and have a bright future where you may realize your full potential in all facets of your life. Best of luck, Mr. Jiden. Thank you, Judge. If I may be excused, that's all I have to say. Thank you. The NBA YoungBoy's case has officially been closed, and he will now serve 27 months in jail and 60 months of probation. However, things get scarier because the prosecutors will now focus more on telling the judge that he must remain in jail and prison for a very long time. They even have the arrest footage to support this claim, as the young boy was wanted after missing a court appearance. The FBI was staking out his Louisiana mansion until suddenly NBA YoungBoy was seen opening the gate of his home and driving out. The FBI followed YoungBoy getting onto the highway. This started a high-speed chase all across the highway, to which it finally looked like it was almost over when the FBI agent told YoungBoy to pull his car over. YoungBoy did pull his car over to the side of the highway, but he was waiting for the FBI agent to exit his vehicle, to which he then slammed onto his gas, going 120 mph down the highway. He then ran into traffic, making him drift off into the regular street. But while on the run with the FBI agent, NBA YoungBoy was wearing designer shoes, skinny jeans, a jacket, and several diamond chains, likely not the best outfit to wear for running from an FBI agent, but it's all he had. YoungBoy would end up leading into more traffic in the regular street, exiting his vehicle, hopping a fence, and beginning to sprint into a random backyard. This backyard just so happened to be a fan of NBA YoungBoy, who would take his phone out and take photos of YoungBoy sprinting away, where you can clearly see the FBI agent behind them. You want to talk to us? Tell us that as soon as we're finished with everything, we'll remove the handcuffs, but I don't have a statement. I don't want to be detained in these handcuffs like this improperly if I haven't committed a crime of D. Alright, give us a moment, okay? No, so you know any statement any W said, man, no sir, Mr. Martinez, I do not want to make a declaration that I do not wish to be. These were serious charges against a young boy for speed racing, resisting arrest, and many other offenses. The next judge will not be lenient with him because he already had to post $500,000 in cash and 2 properties in order to try to obtain a $540,000 bond for a young boy from California. He also put up 2 properties worth more than $1.5 million as collateral. The young boy, who is facing serious legal charges, is currently required to wear an ankle monitor but will not be placed under house arrest according to the bond set by a California judge. This ruling means he has the freedom to travel, with the only restriction being the ankle monitor. This decision is particularly notable because it reflects the judge's belief that the conditions imposed are sufficient given the young boy's situation. The California judge's decision, which accounted for the nature of the charges and the boy's background, sets an important precedent. While it is not unusual for a judge to impose strict conditions like an ankle monitor, the fact that the judge also allowed for freedom of movement aside from the monitor shows a degree of leniency, signaling that the boy's circumstances did not warrant harsher restrictions such as house arrest. Interestingly, the Louisiana judge, who will be reviewing the same set of facts and charges, is also expected to make a decision under the same federal law. Although the courts are in different states, California and Louisiana, the application of federal law is meant to be consistent across jurisdictions. That being said, states can sometimes apply the law with slight variations based on local practices, though in this instance, the differences should not be significant. If the California judge, who is in a more lenient jurisdiction, decided that a bond with an ankle monitor and travel freedom was adequate, it would be highly unusual for a Louisiana judge to impose harsher restrictions. It would be rare, even counterintuitive, for a judge in Louisiana to disregard the California judge's precedent and impose stricter conditions without a compelling reason. Given this context, it is reasonable to expect that the Louisiana judge, who will rule on the case in the coming days, will likely release the young boy on similar terms, provided that no new information arises that could affect the decision. While the legal process unfolds, the situation for NBA YoungBoy continues to be complicated. Prosecutors, in particular, are always looking for ways to cast a negative light on high-profile individuals, especially celebrities like NBA YoungBoy. They must paint the defendant in a negative light for the jury and public. In the case of NBA YoungBoy, the situation became more difficult for him as the court case progressed, partly due to past events that resurfaced. One particularly damaging element of the case was the 2019 beef between NBA YoungBoy and another rapper, NLE Choppa. This feud was reignited during the trial when it was revealed in court that NLE Choppa had felt compelled to create a song in response to YoungBoy's actions at the time. The song, titled For a Young Boy, was written during YoungBoy's 2019 arrest, highlighting the tension between the two artists. However, in a twist of fate, NLE Choppa's views on NBA YoungBoy changed dramatically after the tragic death of King Von, a close associate of the rapper Lil Durk, who had strong ties to the O-Block crew in Chicago. Following King Von's passing, NBA YoungBoy released a track in 2022 titled Bring the Hook, a diss aimed at O-Block and referencing King Von. This move by YoungBoy set off a chain reaction in the rap community, with many reacting sharply to his lyrics. In particular, DJ Academics took to social media, tweeting that NBA YoungBoy was on demon time and had just dropped another tape. This statement was a reflection of the heightened animosity surrounding the young rapper at the time, as his actions continued to fuel controversy.